My Line. Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who bring the best to you each morning. The widest choice of cereals in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now I am about to introduce a gentleman whom I am about to lose to the lady he is about to introduce, Martin Gabel.
On my left, I give you three of the most stirring words in the English language. Zsa Zsa Gabor.
And now it's my privilege to introduce Mr. Bennett, sir.
Zsa Zsa, we're glad to have you with us while Zsa Zsa Kilgallen is cavorting about Europe. And here's another great Hungarian patriot, Jean Lachey's Daily.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line. Once again, we're up to our usual tricks. We have a collection of occupations which we're quite sure will give the panel a rough time of it tonight. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this. Now let's meet our first challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? You write your name there, please. Bridget Lundgren, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Lundgren?
Miss?
Miss Lundgren.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
Oh, nice. Nice to have somebody from so far away come to visit us. Miss Lundgren, the panel. Panel, Miss Lundgren, will you join me over here, please? Now, tell me, coming all the way from Sweden, is it possible that you know how we keep score on What's My Line?
Oh, yes, I've seen the program on the TV.
Yeah, good. If you know how to keep score, then we'll let the folks at home and those who've joined us here in the theater and the audience know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Miss Lundgren is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Pierre Lachey's Cerf.
Très French.
Miss Lundgren, do you perform some kind of service?
Yes.
Do you do it in the United States?
Yes.
Could you perform the same service elsewhere?
Oh, yes.
Is it a service that applies to both sexes, male and female?
Yes.
Are they a more contented race of folk after you perform the service than before you performed it?
Well, actually, what Mr. Cerf is asking is if the people who make use of your services are more content after they have done so. I think we would have to answer here that it would be Miss Lundgren's hope that they would be more content with their world and their life after they've had the advantage of her service.
Do these people have the privilege, Miss Lundgren, of coming into personal contact with you while you're performing the service?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Miss Lundgren, on this program, we are very often led astray by certain things. For example,
Like
you are, yes, like Daly, you are exceptionally beautiful. And it would be so obvious if you were an actress or a model that I'm going to say, may I assume that your looks have nothing to do with your job?
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boy. You're in the wrong type of work. Do you work at all with your hands?
Yes, I...
That's it. Just say yes. Don't say any more.
Do you go from place to place in your work rather than remain in one particular place?
Yes, I do.
Is there anything sportsmanlike in what you do?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you in the United States in pursuit of your profession?
Yes.
Were you sent here by a profit-making organization in Sweden?
I would, if you don't mind, Martin, reverse the emphasis here and say that Miss Lundgren is in pursuit of her profession for a profit-making organization in Sweden, yes.
May I ask why you felt it necessary to reverse me?
Well, because I thought there might be an issue here of the specifics of being sent, you see.
I see.
I can tell you right now, Martin is sent.
You mean way out?
Way out.
Way out.
Far out. Are you doing anything else in the United States beside working at your profession?
Yes.
You are.
What did you have?
Are you... I won't explain my reasoning until later, Arlene.
But later you will, won't you, dear?
Are you engaged to be married, Miss Lundgren?
No.
Wait a minute, small conference.
I may be right, huh?
Prize fight.
Yes.
What is a prize?
Well, are you if not officially engaged, have you a connection with the man who is temporarily here in the United States?
Come, Daly.
I'm afraid I didn't understand your question.
Well, I'll put it in
You got a yes answer. No, actually, well, Miss Lundgren, she didn't understand your question before, and she answers you in the affirmative now.
In the affirmative.
Yeah.
Have you spent any time at a resort called Grossinger's?
Yes.
Well, have you, if you are not engaged to, have you a connection
I answered that
with...
question, yes.
What?
Yes.
You are engaged, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Is there something that's going to take place on June 25th at Yankee Stadium which will affect your future?
Yes, but...
You're the fiancé of the challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship, Ingemar Johansson.
That's
Yes,
right.
Wonderful.
And now that we've gotten rid of all these delightful social notes, would you care to tell me what it is Miss Lundgren is here for?
I feel I've done my duty, John.
I'm sorry, Martin, you haven't.
I haven't a clue.
You haven't a clue? Well, just ask her anything.
He can't.
Have you anything to do with the dress business?
No?
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Gabor.
Oh, I don't know what to ask her.
One beauty to another. You must know something.
Well, now help me. She's engaged, isn't she?
Yeah.
Shall we find out why she's here now? I never played this before. Help me.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
what kind of a profession do you think a girl as beautiful as that would be in? She looks like
Well,
she's in sports.
first of all, she's a swimmer, I'm sure, being Swedish. She can ski very well, I'm sure. Can you? Yes. She can.
All these social notes, but no job.
I know if she has anything to do with massage, Swedish massage.
Doing the sport, we speak such bad English, both of us. I hope you understand me. When you done your favorite sport, is that how you met your fiancé? No.
That's fine. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
What are we trying to find out, John? What Miss Lundgren does when she isn't being engaged?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of interesting social information, but
We've got her basic reason for
She must be a model.
When you...
Model? No.
No, we said not.
that's 5 down and 5 to go.
Wait a minute, I haven't understood, John.
That's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr.
I want to
Cerf.
know whether Miss Lundgren works... Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes, that has been
You do.
elicited.
Would the work that you do have anything to do with something that is distinctly Swedish?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
You mean that we have in this country exactly the same sort of thing that Miss Munson does in Sweden. Is that correct?
That's right.
And we have ruled out anything to do with massage. Is that correct?
That has not been ruled out, no.
Oh.
Yes, she can't touch
Well,
anybody.
does she have anything to do with massage or beauty treatments or health in any way?
No. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Gabel. That's 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Oh, we have.
That's all. You haven't even gotten close, so I'm going to throw the towel in. Actually, Miss Lundgren is a correspondent for a Swedish newspaper,
Lovely.
the name of which is Damernas Val?
Yes.
Damernas Val, Woman's World. Without saying that all of us wish Mr. Johansson and Miss Lundgren a real good fight on June the 25th, and may the better man
And Mr.
win.
Patterson, of course.
Beg pardon?
And Mr. Patterson, of course.
And Mr. Patterson. I said, oh, yes, and may the better man win. I just want these two to fight.
I think Mr. Patterson would have more trouble with her than he'll have with Mr. Johansson.
All right, let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Right. Mabel Page. Miss or Mrs. Page? Mrs. Page, and where are you from, Mrs.
From Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago. Well, nice to have you with us. Mrs. Page, the panel. Mrs. Page, would you join me over here, please? And Mrs. Page, you know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
In that event, let's let the folks at home and those in the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. Mrs. Page is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mrs. Page, do you work for a profit-making organization?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Do you work for the government?
Yes.
Is it a state government you work for?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Gabor.
Do you work for the federal government? Yes. I found it. Now. I don't know what the federal government is.
The United States.
Do you work in Chicago? No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Page, may I assume that the job that you hold is not one to which you were elected?
No, I was not elected.
Yes, you may assume it.
Is it a civil service job?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you have anything to do in a disciplinary way?
No.
Small conference. Yeah, we want to be fair, and Mrs. Page has agreed that there are circumstances under which you could describe some of her actions as having a disciplinary character of a kind.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. Do people come before you, Mrs. Page? Do they come to you for your services?
No. They don't. The policewoman.
All right, you're the boss. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Do you always go to people to perform your service?
No, I don't go to people.
Well, that leaves us up a tree.
Doesn't it? That makes it 6 down and 4 to go. What a lovely tree. Now, actually, what Mrs. Page is conveying is that the character of the service doesn't really require that people specifically come to her or that she specifically go to people. It is a continuing service which she performs with magnificent efficiency from day to day and week to week.
She collects income tax.
She collects income tax? Is that what you said?
That's what I
That's
said.
wrong. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Page, would you have any connection whatever with either the courts or the prisons or jails of Chicago?
No.
That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there anything involved in education in what you do?
No, not specifically. 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Do you write to the people for whom you perform a service?
Saying, please remit.
I don't think we ought to say it. No, I don't think so. Let's make it 10 down and no more to go. I'm surprised at you. I would think just looking at Mrs. Page, you'd tell immediately that she is
You're a marriage
a
counselor.
sergeant in the United States Air Force. And I have just, to answer the question adequately, been disciplined. Mrs. Page said, Master Sergeant, please.
Yes,
Master Sergeant of the
But
Air
how
Force.
can a woman be a sergeant?
This is not the Hungarian army, is it?
Where they're all generals.
Oh, no, you're stationed at McGuire Air Force Base now.
That's right.
And if memory serves me right, Master Sergeant, ma'am, sir, this is a rather big year for the Women's Air Force. This would be your 10th anniversary.
10th anniversry, yes.
Well, you're a wonderful
That is
corps.
of the Air Force. I've been in 15 years.
Have you really? What were you with the
I was with the
when it was part of the Army Air Force?
That's right.
John,
Yes, sir.
what does Sergeant Page do in the Air Force? I'd like to know.
I work in the comptroller's office, the accounting and finance division, in an office.
Are we solvent?
Military secrets.
Not only that, but our Master Sergeant not only serves her country well in the Air Force, she's a great-grandmother, aren't you?
That's right.
Great-grandmother. That's wonderful. Wonderful family. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Sergeant Mansell. And now we'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which we ask our friends on the panel to blindfold themselves.
Wait a minute.
Bennett.
Wait a minute.
Makes me nervous. This is better. Oh, I hate to be in the dark. I hate it.
And now all the blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? As you know, panel, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise. And we'll begin with Miss Gabor.
That's difficult because I can't even speak when the blindfold isn't on me.
What? That's the question.
No, I speak about questions. Yes. Are you a man or a woman?
The questions must be susceptible of a yes and no or no answer.
Pardon
Are you
me.
a man?
Are you a man?
Yes.
What?
Mr. Cerf, yes, was the reply.
That's
Are you a movie star?
That's a term I don't like.
What?
That's a term I don't like.
I didn't get that.
Didn't like the
No,
term.
our guest says it's a term he doesn't like. However, we would, under the normal
Would you
terms
be-
of reference of this program, have to agree that he is a movie star. Miss Francis.
Are you in town because of one of the many important new pictures that are about to open in New York?
No.
That makes it 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Have you a picture now playing on Broadway?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Gabor.
You are a movie star, but you don't like to be called a movie star. Who are you?
The questions must be susceptible of a yes or no answer.
Pardon me. You see, I can't be disciplined. There's no...
If your nose was bigger, that would stay up.
You don't know what this thing is doing to me. So, no. Are you an American?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Zsa Zsa's nose is out of joint because Miss Lundgren was so beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I loved her. I am not...
Was the fact that you did not like to be termed a movie star due to the fact that you are also a star on the Broadway legitimate stage?
Yes, sometimes.
Miss Francis?
Are you appearing in a play now?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Have you appeared in a play in the past season?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Gabor.
But then what do you do? You're a famous Oh, he's a singer. He's one of those teenage idols. Are you a singer?
Sometimes.
Mr. Cerf.
Sometimes.
Are you under 35?
Yes.
I knew that.
Miss Francis.
Do you have some successful records, hit records?
I don't have a record at the moment.
You don't have a who?
A record at the moment.
Well, but this, I think, is asked in a historic sense. You have had, so that
Right,
you're
yes.
not misled.
Yes.
Yes, would be the answer. Mr. Gabel?
Are you principally an actor rather than a singer?
Yes.
Miss Gabor?
Iron, porgy, and bass.
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are you about to make a picture when you go back to the coast?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
Are you here making a picture in New York now?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr.
Was
Gabel.
that a no?
No.
That was a no, that's right.
Do you usually play in serious plays rather than in comedies?
Yes.
Miss Gabor?
You live in Hollywood.
No.
Boy.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Is the picture that you're going to make, does it have anything to do with the noble sport of basketball?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
Oh, the picture is Tall Story.
Yes.
And
yes.
who's doing it? Tony Perkins?
Tony Perkins.
Tony
Tony
Perkins.
Perkins. Are you Tony Perkins?
I must admit that one reason Mr. Perkins could escape some of your questions and their intent was that he's just back from Australia where he was making a movie.
That was my Australian accent I was kind of trying out. in
Awfully
Canada.
good. Terribly down under, I thought.
It's rather...
Very quiet.
On the beach?
I'm very
It's
British.
on the beach, yes.
Well, you've just finished making On the Beach.
Right.
But it is not showing anywhere on Broadway now. In fact, it's not to be released for some time.
No.
Why don't you like the term movie star, Mr. Perkins?
I think it's a limiting one. A movie star always calls to mind, or to my mind anyway, a sense of glamour which I feel I lack.
I didn't know that you sing. I didn't know that you make records.
That's a good point.
Do you sing?
Actually, he has made...
Yes, that's right.
The young folks particularly, and I'm sure that Mr. Perkins knows this, the young folks are, by their great legions, always demanding his records.
John, I'd like to say that whatever the young folks may feel, we older folks think not only that Mr. Perkins is a great actor, but his father before him, Osgood Perkins, was a great actor, too.
Go to Andover. Go to Andover. Did you go to Andover? I just asked Mr. Perkins if he went to Andover because I saw his first, I think, your first big play on Broadway, wasn't it? It was supposed to be based on the Exeter Andover fine secondary schools. But he didn't go to Andover. And I guess there you are. Good luck with the picture made in Australia, and good luck with a tall story that's going to make a basketball player. Are you a good basketball player, Tony?
Well, I'm learning to be. I'm trying to.
Good. Nice to have you with us. And that's all. Well, panel, you've done not too well tonight, to be quite frank with you. And we'll all be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. Now, good night, Miss Arlene Francis.
Good night, John. Good night, Martin. I hope you and Zsa Zsa will be very happy together.
Good night, Arlene. Zsa Zsa.
That was awfully
For the
final.
moment.
Good night, darling. Good night, John, and good night, Bennett.
Zsa Zsa, you were a revelation on What's My Line. Positive revelation. So were you, John.
Well,
Good night.
thank you, Bennett. It's nice to have had you with us, Miss Gabor, and we're happy and very pleased to note that next week we're going to have an old buddy of ours. Steve Allen and his good bride, Jane Meadows, will be on the panel. Until then, this is Good night, and thanks for being on What's My Line tonight.
Transportation for contestants on What's My Line is arranged by United Airlines. What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Totten. This is Hal Sims speaking.